Alright, so now we're just going to check on Eve a little bit. So we went to bed, the server was shutting down, and then we're like, this is a good time to stop playing. So then we looked at our character skill tree, and then we were putting some skills on, because we know skills train overnight when you're not playing the game. So we know that. So if you were to come on, say 12 hours later like it has been, a whole bunch of your skills will be trained, as we'll find out here. So Eve Online. Even the login screen changed. Before it was blue, now it's all red. So they're always changing things in this game. It's always cool. So Skydragon Delivery, this is the character we were working on. So if you just made the character, and if you were gone for a day, you'd come back, it would say 5 skills completed, and it'll show what skill is currently training. So Cavalry Destroyer level 3. So in 7 hours, you'll be able to, well, that skill will be trained, and then you'll be able to start learning how to fly the bigger ships, actually. Right, we learned you need the level 3 skills of these smaller ships, and then that'll allow you to fly bigger ships in the game. So we're just going to log in, and it's going to say a whole bunch of skills have been completed. And then this is just going to be a short little clip. I think we're just going to log in, look at these skills, and then we're going to do something else for a bit, and then we're going to come back to Eve later tonight. So this is also kind of showing it's good to just log in and then just update your skills, see what your skills have been training. So you could click skill training complete 5 skills, and it should bring up your character window. Yeah, your history, and they're highlighted. So we had social 1, social 2. We trained those while we were learning the introduction. So the first part of the video is like even the tutorial, and then the career agents, that only takes like 2 to 3 hours. So it's not even a huge time commitment, right? You just play for 2 hours, queue up some skills, and then come back tomorrow, and then you'll be able to fly the destroyer tomorrow. And then you'll be able to learn how to fly the other ship. So those are all trained, and then we still had some more things on our queue from last night, so these can stay here. And then if we decide we want to learn something earlier, or if we want to put something else on the queue that we learned, we could actually put it up here to the top. So maybe before all of these, you might want to learn some more ships, right? Because you did get some more money. You did get a 2 million ISK. So we actually can afford to learn the skill to fly the new ship. So that's really good. Because I think it was like 1 million. So we couldn't do it. We did some missions. We got money for missions. So the Caldari Destroyer is training to level 3 right now. And then the Caldari Cruiser. So that'd be the next ship up. So we could click show info. Yeah, and then it'll pop up. It'll say we need to learn this skill. Total training time 7 hours and 16 minutes. So even if we like come back in 7 hours, that thing will be trained. Or we could even like play, because you could play as well for 6 hours. Maybe we will play, we're not sure. It's just logging into the game, we're like, well, we could start playing. So basically you just go click on market details, and then show all the offers for the books. So then we're going to say, once again, all of these skill books, they're seeded into the game by NPCs. So the game itself, these are not other players selling you these books. These will always be here. These are actually being sold by the station itself. So some NPC character inside the station is selling you all of these skill books. That's why they're all available absolutely everywhere. And they're always the same price. So Caldari Cruiser is going to cost 1 million ISK, so we might as well train that. So we could double click on it, and the buy window should come up. Here we go. Yeah, and it'll say quantity 1, did you want to buy it for 1 million ISK? Sure you do, because you want to fly a bigger ship. You have to learn how to fly a bigger ship. Then later you're going to learn, you're going to be able to fly the ship, but then you're not going to be able to equip weapons on it, right? You're going to have this cool ship, but you won't have weapons on it. You're going to have to train the weapons as well. So now with the Caldari Cruiser skill book inside our inventory, we can right click it. We can say inject the skill. So now we know the skill, right? Before it was grayed out, just like this one, but now that we read the book, now we could actually learn Caldari Cruiser. Then we could actually throw Caldari Cruiser underneath the Caldari Destroyer. Then we can start learning Caldari Cruiser up to level 3. That probably should be your main focus. You just want to try to get all of the base ships, And then once you have the base ships, then you could get all the weapons. So Caldari Destroyer 3 will unlock the ability to learn Caldari Cruiser, and then we could learn Caldari Cruiser, which will unlock the ability to fly these ships. So eventually we're probably going to make these ships, and then Caldari Cruiser level 2 gives you the Navy ships, and then Caldari Cruiser level 3 gives you the ability to fly Caldari battle cruisers. So if we click on the eye to see information, we could we'll be able to fly that in one day if we keep training this. If we don't train other things, if we just focus on ships, we'll be able to fly this ship probably in 2 days, and then we'll be learning how to fly other ships too. So now we can go view market details. This is going to cost 2.5 million ISK, so we have 1 million ISK. So that'd be a good reason to run some of these missions and then get some ISK, and then you could buy the book to train Caldari Battle Cruiser. Because pretty much we're just going to be doing simple missions without combat for the moment, because we're not going to worry about combat because our ship's not going to be too good. We could work on our ship while we are learning industry, while we're learning how to build our own ships and make our own weapons and ammunition and everything. There we go. Yeah, so there's the morning. That's what it's like when you log on to the game. You could look at your skills, you could buy new skills, and then you could add skills to the skill tree to learn while you're away again. And then you know that today you'll be able to fly the Caldari Destroyer, although you actually have to obtain the ship first. Then you know that tomorrow you'll be able to fly the Caldari Battle Cruiser, and then you know that the next day probably you'll be able to fly the Caldari Battleship, I think. Caldari Battle Cruiser. Should be a Caldari Battle Cruiser. Oh, maybe we just don't have the prerequisites for it. So we could go to skills, we could click have prerequisites for, and say all skills, and then it'll show all of these skills. So now we could scroll down here to the Caldari. There we go. Caldari Battle Cruiser, and then Caldari Battleships. These would be some of the biggest ships you're going to be able to fly earlier. If you right click on Caldari Battleship, it'll show you all of the requirements, right? So we need Caldari Frigate 3, we trained that already. Caldari Destroyer 3, we're training that right now. Caldari Cruiser 3, we're training that as soon as this is done training. Then Caldari Battle Cruiser, we'll be able to train that up. That'll take 1 day. And it's going to tell you before you can fly the Caldari Battleship, you're going to have to train for 3 days and 10 hours. So we know that it's going to take 1 week before we could actually fly a good ship, but there's way too many things to do before you could fly the big ships anyway, so it doesn't really matter that it's going to take you 1 week to fly a big huge ship. You're going to be flying smaller ships anyways, and they're going to be used for different tasks that are not really combat. So there we go. Maybe we'll do some mining or something. We got these missions here. We'll probably clip the video and then decide what we're doing. So maybe we'll play for a little bit just to get these missions done, and then we'll come back later, and then our things will be trained, and then we'll have to look into industry more in the next video so we can actually build our own things, because that's the main goal of this, right? You want to build your own things. Alright, yeah, so we could do these quests quickly. So it's just a delivery mission. You just have to pick up this cargo and deliver it. So you accept the industrial career path mission, you accept that, and you go to your inventory. So these are going to be a combat mission too, right? So we go to our ship hangar, we're not going to need the mining vessel. Our ore hold's empty, alright. So we could double click the Ibis to go to our combat ship. We can close that quest window. So now we're flying our new ship. Well, our old ship, our old combat ship, it should still be fitted with the 2 lasers, right? Yeah, you didn't really change anything. So now the other business career path. It's basically going to give you a civilian data analyzer. So it's going to be your first little venture into exploration. So exploration is really easy too. So you just accept the mission, then he'll grant you a civilian data analyzer. You just have to equip that onto your ship. So in your item hangar here, he gave it to you, the civilian data analyzer. So it fits on these slots here because it has the 2 lines on it, you can see, and this has the 1 lines on it. And this has the 3 lines, so the 3 lines would be your weapon turret slots. The 2 lines would be your mid slots. So different modules for your ship, and then the lower slots are usually just other modules that boost your ship as well. So the civilian analyzer, we're just going to drag it onto the middle slot here. So now we have that equipped onto our ship. And then the creative electronics, we have to deliver that. So we bring that from our what is this place? From the, I don't know, from the hangar here, the item hangar. From the station hangar, that's what I'm trying to think. So we take these crates from the station hangar into our ship hangar. Now we're ready to go. We have the delivery mission, we have the exploration mission, so we could just do these 2 missions here quick. And then maybe we shouldn't record doing all the missions, because that would shorten the videos if we didn't record all of them. So basically we're going to undock from the station, and it's always a bit faster the second time you load up. It's whenever you load up the game for the first time, I think it probably has to reload a whole bunch of assets. So then we could go encounter dead space, warp to the location, balancing the books. So we could read the details. This one said to granted civilian data analyzer. So we just have to destroy the pirates in the area, and then we just have to pick up the encoded data chip. And then when this mission is done, we can go to the other one. Alright, so we just arrived at the place we're supposed to warp to. So we just target the Garista rookie, and then we just have to destroy him. And there's a data storage device. We have to go towards the data storage device. We have to get within 5,000 meters of it, right? So we just go burn towards the storage device. We can maybe loot this guy if we want. Our vehicles are going fast. We activate the afterburner to increase our speed. So yeah, we could just go loot the wreck, and then we could go analyze the storage device. Then we could go loot the data chip, and then go finish the other mission here. Alright, so now you're at the data storage device, so all you have to do is right click here. Oh, no you don't, you just target the data device, then you activate the civilian data analyzer, so you're within 5,000, and then you just have to hack the device. So it's super simple, it's not complicated at all. You just click these, and I believe the number indicates how far away the core is from this. So the core would be one of these things. Your job is to find the core. So it's not up there, it's something protecting the core. So it's a firewall, so that's going to get in your way from getting to the core. So you just click those. You have to try to keep your resistance up, so trying to keep it simple. We found the core, so you just click on the core twice, and then there we go, system hack successful. Now you could open the cargo and then loot the data chip. So mission complete. So we could dock at the station, or we could set the destination for the delivery mission. So we could just do the delivery mission at the same time, and then we could warp back here. So we have to warp through like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stargates again. And then we just dock at the station. Right when you get to your final thing, well, here you click on the name, and then you jump through the Stargate. You do that 5 times, and then when you get to the destination, you won't be able to do that. You have to select the box down here, and you select dock, and then you will dock at the station, and then we'll complete our mission there. Alright, so you just finally arrived at your final Stargate. So you just have to jump through this one Stargate, then you could dock at the system to deliver. So that's a good temperate home world. So it'd be kind of like Earth. So it'd be like a Earth-like planet. There's a whole bunch of Earth-like planets out here. So then you could go right-click the square, and then you dock at the station.
Drive active.
So then now you just docked up at the station. So we have making a mole house selected. We could start the conversation. Then we say complete the mission. So we have completed. Our standing went up. Now we could undock. Yeah, because we have balancing the books, but for a surefire way to go back to the station, the pickup station was here, so we could right click here. We could say set destination. We want to go back where we came from. So then we just have to undock, and then we could go turn in the other quest we completed, and then accept 2 new quests back at the other station. And then eventually they'll be pretty much done. Then we'll actually have an industrial barge to actually go start hauling things. Just to do some distribution missions, just because they're really easy to do, they're really quick, you'll get LP fast, and then you also be able to, yeah, upgrade your standings. I think the main thing is you'll just be able to upgrade your standings without getting negative standings with other corporations. I think you just want to try to get most of the corporations up and then without getting negative, because if you ever want to work for pirates later, you can go work for pirates, but you can't really work for them if your standing is way too low with the pirates. So for these series, these tutorials, we're actually going to avoid fighting pirates for a little bit, just to keep all of our standings going up. Also, our standings are going to be good for all of the other races as well, right? Curse the pirates, just because we killed that one ship, gives you negative 0.001. And then if you were actually to complete a quest against the pirates, it would give you like negative 0.3, so it would add up really quickly. You'll be like -2 in no time against the pirates. Although if you don't really care about the pirates, that's alright. Although there is different storyline, there is different like missions for them and a different store for the pirates. So it is another aspect of the game you might want to explore later. You'd have to go into zero security space though, where everybody can attack you. So I imagine you just have to go into local chat and then hopefully try to talk to the people. Be like, hello, I'm here to run missions. Does anyone want to group up? Or if you're in an alliance, I guess your group could go there and just run them or something. But there's no reason to ruin your standings with anybody this early in the game. So keep your standings in good standings. You're going to see later when we do the mission running missions, we're just going to be increasing our standings with some specific corporations, and then they should always be available for us to do level 4 missions. And then eventually we'll get standings up with more people, be able to run more missions with more other people. Plus they also give you other benefits too, we'll talk about later, especially some things in the loyalty point store that people probably never ever use. So actually we'll clip and then we'll come back when we dock at the station. Alright, so now we're back at the station. So balancing the books, we could start the conversation. We completed the quest. We could say complete the mission. Activity tracker, standings increased. Perfect. So we could say we could request another mission from him. I would just say pick up location, drop off location. So it's just a delivery mission. Alright, so we could accept this. Then we could actually equip that onto our ship to help us travel faster. So we have one mission accepted. And then the industry career path. We could see what this one is. Drop off location, cap booster. Following items will be granted you. So we have to do another industry thing. We have to make some cap boosters. Although I think they're a little bit more complicated. Mining the reprocessing ore from pyroxers, plagioclase, jaspite, or hemerferite asteroids. So you can't actually use only Veldespar to craft these. So now they teach you a little bit more complicated industry, right? So we accepted the mission. If we go to our inventory, we could throw all these in the item hanger to clear out our ship's inventory. Go to the item hanger. So now we have the cap booster blueprint. We could double click it, I believe. Yeah, and then it brings you to the invention, the industry. So we just drag it over maybe. Or it's just loading probably. It's just, oh no, we're looking at jobs. Alright, so down here, we were in jobs last time. You want to click on blueprints probably. Facilities. It is in the item hanger. Show info, right click, use blueprint. Alright, it seems like it's doing something. So I guess you just have to right click the blueprint in your inventory and then say use blueprint. And then no blueprints found. Jobs. Let's try reopening this. So let's right click here. Let's say use blueprint. Let's reset everything. So there we go. So it fixed everything. So you can see there's little complications, I guess, but you can always get around them. So we need pyrite and we need mexelian. So we're gonna have to go somewhere else to mine those things. So it's all in 0.9 security status. So we are in 0.9 security status. If we can maybe find some of these in the local area, we could just go mine it. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. So we'll just go do some mining. And this other guy told us to do a delivery mission. So we're actually going to have a lot of time to do this one, right? Within 6 hours. Alright. So let's just do the delivery mission quick. So we just need to put the encoded chip into our cargo inventory. So we go to the inventory, get the encoded chip that we have to deliver, put it in our ship's hangar, and then we're good to go. So we just go to the drop-off location. So we just click on the business career path and then drop-off location, right-click it, set destination, and it's going to send us pretty far away. Alright, so get ready for another delivery mission. Oh, wait a minute, undock, he gave you something. That's right. So you could right-click and go on your ship fitting before you head out. We don't have anything in our low slots, but he just gave you something to put into your low slots. So we go to the item hangar, overdrive injector. So this will increase your velocity and your speed, and it'll help you warp faster too, and it will align to warping faster. Then your overall speed is faster as well, so just put that on, I guess. Don't really need a cargo hold for anything. So we can close that. We just equipped something to increase our speed. That's all we needed. So that's going to help us get to our destination faster. So let's just do another delivery mission quick. We'll get this one out of the way, because we know that we just have to find some pyroxers and mine it. So that'll be really easy. This one, it's just gonna take some time, because you just have to fly over there. Yes, always don't worry about how long things take in the game, right? Because they're giving you things to do, they're gonna give you a reward, you're doing the quest lines, so you're gonna get a better reward at the end. And then while you're doing all these quests, and while they're sending you around flying everywhere, all of your skills are training as well, right? This Qatari destroyer, it was like 7 hours and 14 minutes, so we already got like 35 minutes of it trained, right? You're just playing the game, and then your skills are training. So no, actually later today maybe, yeah, later tonight we will be able to check into the Qatari cruiser, check what they're about. And then tomorrow the battle cruiser. So I guess your current objective, your current mindset and objective should be to just get the 2.5 million ISK, so you can get the skill book to pilot the battle cruiser. So you shouldn't have any other high-end objectives, right? The only simple objectives, just simple. Don't get huge objectives like I'm going to fly the biggest ship and I'm going to get what's the biggest ISK per hour. You don't want to fall into the trap of looking at all these spreadsheets that everyone looks at and trying to figure out how much ISK can you make from this, and what's the best way to do planetary interaction. No, just ignore all those for now. You don't really need any of those. Just explore space and play the game. Don't play the spreadsheet game. Alright, here, so we're just about to dock up at our destination, so I figured we would record docking at the station. And then we'd turn in the mission, and then we'd set a course for back home. Because actually, while I was flying here, I was thinking, I mean, if you've never played the game, or if you play the game and you always get lost and you have no idea where you're going, and there's so many places to go. But me, since I'm flying over here, I don't even think about that, but maybe somebody else does. So we could go to business career, we could click on the start conversation, we could complete the mission. So now you're 7 jumps away from your home system, 7 jumps away from where you were originally started from, right? Route 7 jumps. So if you didn't right click here and pick up location and you set your destination, you'd have no way to get home, you'd be completely lost. So make sure you do that. And then your route will be set, and then you'll be able to just jump through these stargates and actually find your way back home. And then maybe accept another mission. Hopefully he doesn't send you out 7 jumps again. They send you out so far, but it's good to learn about exploring the system and looking at all these star jumps. And imagine you've probably seen ships along the way too. And then also, yes, if you're flying through here, you're probably gonna wonder, where do I go? What do I do? What are the goals of the game? So your goal should not be how much ISK can I make per hour, how much ISK can I make, what's the fastest way to get up to the biggest ship, how it's the fastest way to make money in the game. You should ignore that. You should actually play the game for a little bit, right? Because purposefully we haven't really looked at any spreadsheets, we haven't looked at any industry really, we haven't looked at any planetary interaction or really too much of anything. We haven't even looked at these buttons on the left hand side. Like except for the character sheet. That's the only one we looked at, just so we could look at our character skills. We could see what skills we're training. We could add the skills to our training queue if we want to, or we could edit them. Like if we wanted to train something sooner, we could just drag it to the top. Or if we decided we didn't want something, maybe evasive maneuvering, it does help, but maybe it does take a while. Maybe there's something better to train. Although if you get it to level 3, that is only like 8.5 hours. So consider like in one day you'd be able to train all of these, and then those would be trained already, so you wouldn't have to worry about training them later. So probably just leave these in the queue if you're a member, or if you're not a member, then you're just going to have 1 day of things in your queue. You're probably just going to have the Kaldari Destroyer 3, and then you probably just queued up the Kaldari Cruiser, and then you don't have room on your queue to queue up anything else here. So these things are just things you're going to want to train later, but things you want to train right now are at the top. And then basically, yeah, just the history, so you can see the history of the skills that you have trained, so you could remember what skills you train, and then you can check on them. And then also the interactions, where you just looked at standings. So we've only interacted with the Kaldari state, we've only interacted with the pirates, we destroyed a couple of their guys, and then yeah, we just destroyed some of their ships. And then these, our reputation with these agents is really good, and then our reputation with the corporation's actually doing really good, 0.61. There's actually a skill we could probably train to increase that further, because we already got the social skill. We haven't talked about it too much, right? We've been mostly talking about these spaceships, but the social skill is actually really good, because every time that we complete the mission, it says skill at social interaction, 5% bonus per level to NPC, agent, corporation, and faction standing increase. So every time we increase our standing with an agent or a faction, this skill is going to increase it further. Also, you can only train it up to level 3 for a free account, right? There's another reason we're keeping them at level 3 purposefully, because if you are not a member, you can't train them past level 3, but I'm pretty sure you can train up to Battleship on a free account. If not, then Battle Cruiser. But you cannot train anything past level 3, essentially. Pretty much everything's capped out at level 3 on a free player. So then maybe we could look at things to buy when we return, right? If we go to the wallet, we have 1.6 million. Want to learn how to pilot these ships, but we know these ships going to be like 3 days away. We got these ships training, so maybe we could look at getting some of these, because I think distribution connections, and then negotiation, maybe 5% additional pay. Oh, it's connections at the top, 4% modifier to effective standing against all standings, basically all NPC, corporations, and factions. So if you go to interactions, if you go to standings, it would give it a straight up 0.4 boost. So you could get it up to 1.2 on a free account, and then on a member's account you could get it up to 2.0. So it's just adds on to it. It doesn't have anything to do with when you gain reputation or anything. It's just basically Kaldari State would go from 0 to up to 2 if you had it maxed, and then all of your agents would also get +2. So actually, if you max that skill, so he'd be at 5 already, and then he'd be at 5 as well. So we just did a little bit talking about that, I guess. We didn't series. We're supposed to be super simple. So now let's probably just dock at the station, and we'll talk a bit more over there. And we're still avoiding these windows.